Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the IRIMS online training workshop run by the HKBU Library. I'm Tiffany Chan, the project administrator from the Digital Initiatives and Research Cluster of HKBU Library, and I'll guide you all through today's training. Alongside me is Ms. Rebecca Wong, the head of our cluster, and she'll help to answer any inquiries you might have in the chat box. So please feel free to drop your questions here anytime. Today's section is set up for all of you scholars and research staff to get accustomed to IRIMS, which is a university-wide management system used by various academic and administrative departments for different reporting and different exercises. Kindly note that only the IRIMS publication backend functions and HKBU scholars will be introduced today. We'll help you to understand the operation of IRIMS and how you can utilize its function to the fullest. So, without further ado, let's begin today's workshop. For those who are not familiar with IRIMS, it stands for Integrated Research Information and Management System. This system, named PURE, is used by various Hong Kong local universities, including us. It's developed by the company Elsevier and consists of 3 basic modules shown in the graph here, which include the grant management module, the publication backend module, and the public research portal. Both grant management and publication backend modules are protected by the SSO Therefore, please remember to enable your HKBU VPN connection before using IRIMS if you are outside campus. Here, you may refer to the user guide link in the chat box to set up the VPN. For the grant management module, it's managed by the Research Office. Grant and project information will be submitted and managed in this module. Here, just a little reminder for you. Please remember to link the project records to your research outputs if they are associated with each other. Now, moving on to the publication backend module, which is our major topic today. It mainly focuses on maintaining up-to-date publication and activity data. For all eligible users, you can input your work into the IRIMS backend by either manually creating your publication record or directly importing from external databases such as Scopus, Web of Science, or PubMed, etc. And the records will be displayed through a public research portal, which is HKBU Scholars. Additionally, KTO and GS departments also regularly transmit patent, electronic thesis, and dissertation data to the publication backend. If you want to take a detailed look at the whole structure of IRIMS, you may refer to this homepage of our IRIMS user guide. This PowerPoint slide shows some useful links that are related to IRIMS, including the user guide we are just showing you for your ease of reference. All of these links can also be found at our library's website. You can browse our library's website and scroll down to the bottom of the page and find a section called Research Information Management. This page already includes the publication backend, the research portal, the IRIMS user guide, and some demos for your reference. Throughout the training, we are going to cover some of the subjects shown in the user guide. While covering these topics, the corresponding links will be posted in the chat box too, so that you can refer to them concurrently. So, after understanding the three elements that form IRIMS, let's talk about why the use of it is very significant to you all scholars and researchers. It influences your performance greatly on both individual and institutional levels. For one thing, the APR is conducted annually within June and July based on the publication records retrieved from IRIMS. For another, UGC also requires a regular update on the university's statistics through different reporting exercises, such as CDCF and RAE, in which these assessments closely affects HKBU's research performance and research directions. The public can actually view these statistics data on the UGC's official website. For example, you can check the number of outputs here in this web page. For example, like there are 1,458 pieces of research outputs submitted by HKBU during 2021 to 2022. And also, there are 1,452 pieces of research output in 2022 to 2023. Therefore, it's crucial to maintain an accurate and updated research data in IRIMS as a single source of truth to facilitate various reporting practices of HKBU and UGC. Apart from that, as mentioned before, IRIMS also includes HKBU Scholars, which is a portal open to the public that displayed publication records and researchers' profiles build our institutional reputation and uphold the university and your professional image as a researcher. That's why we have hosted this workshop for you to understand more about the operation of the system. Here, you can see the four major objectives of today's schedule, including after the training, you will be able to create and modify your own research output records, to edit your researcher profile, to create CVs for your personal use, and also to assign trusted users to manage your publication records. Before learning how to create your own research output records, let's show you the list of IRIMS eligible users. Here, you may refer to the link in the chat box or the section Who Can Add in the user guide. The list here has 5 major types of users, including the current university officers, full-time and part-time academic and teaching staff, research staff, non-teaching staff, and also current research postgraduate and taught postgraduate students. They can all log into the IRIMS backend and add contents. However, please note that only the university offices and full-time academic and teaching staff have their own researchers' profiles displayed on HKBU Scholars. For all these eligible users, after you create and add your publication records in IRIMS, they will be approved and verified at a later stage. Here, in this table, you can see the major content categories covered in IRIMS, such as the textual and non-textual research outputs, activity, price, press and media, project, and course, etc. The first 6 types of content will be approved by your affiliated departments. However, note that the library will only cover the additional verification of textual research outputs, as to ensure the accuracy of the records, including the citations, embargo periods, and copyrights, etc. We do not validate the data input in other content types. You may refer to these details of the table in the user guide under the section Approval and Verifications. Now, let's move on to the demonstration of how to input in your publication records in IRIMS. To start with, first logging in to the IRIMS backend. You may go to the library's website, scroll down, and find the section called Research Information Management. Here, you can click the publication backend, and it will take you to the IRIMS login page. After logging in with your SSO ID, this is the page you should be able to see with an overview of all your basic information. Here, thank you Professor Chen for kindly giving us her permission to use her IRIMS account as an example. As you can see in this personal account, all the records will be displayed under different sections, including publications, projects, or your own research network. Note that the content in this webpage is private and can be only seen by you. To create or add new content, you can click the green button on the right side of your homepage, or directly choose the content type you want to add by clicking the arrow next to the Personal tab, like here. As you can see on the side menu of this pop-up window, there are a few options for you to input your publications. Today, we will start with importing from online sources, which is the fastest way for you to create your records. Here are 7 external authoritative databases for you to choose from, such as Scopus, WOS, or IEEE. And the library will also proactively import new Scopus records for you. On the other hand, you may also check the site menu to see if there are any new publications in these databases. A button called Candidates in that specific online source will appear when your publications are included in that database. Then you may click the button and select the publications you would like to import. Otherwise, you can choose remove them if they do not belong to you. After clicking Import, you will be taken to a page showing a list of authors and their affiliations. Note that the black person icon represents HKBU authors, while the white ones represent non-HKBU authors. Please make sure the list is basically correct by confirming the names and their associations before selecting the import and review to check the record details. You can still update the author list later if you want. Now, as you can see from the submission form, most of the publication details have already been accurately imported for you. However, there are some key points that I would like to share while going through the submission form. First, sections marked with red asterisks are mandatory fields. Remember to select and fill in those fields before saving your record. The first field is peer-reviewed. Just select the option to indicate whether your work has been peer-reviewed or not. Next, Please enter the publication statuses and dates here. There are 5 types in total. Choose the one that fits. You may submit the work that are not yet published for your APR. However, note that only the publications accepted or in press, EPUB or ahead of print, or published will be displayed publicly on HKBU Scholars. For the publication date, kindly input both year and month if they are available. Next is publication information. Just enter the data as displayed in your work, including the language used, the title, abstract, or pages, etc. Please also input the translated titles in the corresponding fields if you have selected other languages instead of English as your original language. For works published in Chinese, please always provide the Chinese title instead of only giving the information in English for a more efficient validation process. Now, moving on to the contributors section, you can edit the details of the list of authors and their affiliations here. As mentioned before, the black person icons represent HKBU authors, while the white ones represent non-HKBU authors. If you find out the data retrieved is incorrect, you can click Edit to modify the respective author's details. If the person here is found to be wrongly mapped, here in this pop-up window, you can click Change Person to search and replace the current author. After that, please remember to select your participant role, as shown in the list here, and also to check the corresponding authors box if you are one. For the affiliations, please be reminded to search and choose the correct organizational unit. If you are a new hire and currently importing publications published before joining HKBU, please also remember to choose your current HKBU affiliation, apart from the ones marked in your publication, so that you would not be treated as an external person in IRIMS system. After you have selected your HKBU affiliation, you should be able to see an organizational unit is automatically populated into this field, and it will be the one who approves your record. For the next section, which is the journal section, is also automatically populated during the import. You may just check the volume and issue number and see if they are correct. Now, moving on to one of the most important sections, the electronic versions and related files, which is the information required by the RGC. Here's where you insert or upload the file, DOI, or web links to an electronic version of your publications. The link is automatically populated if a DOI is found during the import. If not, please always include a DOI or links to your work, so it can facilitate our verification process. As most publication information can be retrieved from these links, you only need to fill in those basic or mandatory bibliographic data, and the library can actually cover the rest of the fields for you while verifying the records. When you insert the files or links, please select the correct document version, like here. For the field of public access to file, you can choose the suitable one by referring to the information button next to it for a detailed explanation of various open access types. However, if you do not sure about the OA type of your work, simply choose Closed, and we will check it for you when verifying the record. Additionally, in compliance with RGC Open Access Plan, kindly upload your accepted author manuscript here by clicking Upload an electronic version. As for the archiving means if it's obtainable, we will depend on the publisher policies and make it public accordingly. This action can potentially increase the citations and the impact of your work by depositing your accepted manuscripts. Now, next part is the compulsory section for collecting CDCF data required by the UGC. In the first field, please choose the cost center, which is the subject of your publication or work. For example, choosing Communication 49 for this article. The second field is to choose the type of output. For example, publication in referred journal, S21. And the last one is to select the nature of your work, such as referred or non-referred academic research. For the following few sections, including scoped subject areas, keywords, sustainable development goals, and also the funding tests, most of these data will be automatically loaded if available during the import from different databases. However, if the information is found to be input wrongly, you can also feel free to edit and update the details in the respective fields, especially for the Sustainable Development Goals field, if it is found to be blank like here. Please input them, for example, choosing Good Health and Well-being as SDG 3 for this article, because Sustainable Development Goals closely affects our university's ranking. So please remember to input the information here. Now, moving on to the RGC requirements section. Fields marked with to be added by library are for internal use only, so there is no need for you to fill in anything. As for the other field sections, they are for recording the information related to article processing charges, which you have paid to make your publication open access. For the second field here, please enter your amount paid for the APC. For the source of APC payment, please input the payment source, project number, and also the payment details from the co-authors if there are any, just like the example showing here, with a co-author from CUHK and the respective amount. For the next field, please fill in the I-expense report number or any invoice number if your APC is paid through the financial office. Additionally, kindly be reminded to clearly state your article title and the APC amount when you reimburse your APC payment through the FO system, so that we can report the data through the CDCF exercise. Now, scroll down a bit. Here's where you indicate the relations between your IRIMS records. If you have any project records associated with this publication, please always link them together, as it's an important piece of information required by the RGC. For your information, These records will be submitted and publicly displayed on the RGC Publication Gateway as shown in the webpage here. The record in this system will include both publication details such as the title, the authors, and other details, and also its associated project details. Therefore, it's important for you to add the associated projects here to indicate the relations. You can search and select the project title by clicking the Add button here. Then, review the project by checking its title, the name of PI, and also its project period. Then, choose the suitable record and click Update. You can also click Open to view the pop-up project record for more project details. Lastly, for the feasibility section, please select the one suitable for you from these 4 statuses. However, we suggest you to choose no restriction to make the record publicly visible on HKBU Scholars. At the end of the record, you should be able to see 2 workflow steps only, which are entry in progress and for approval. As for the approved status, kindly ignore it if you are not assigned as an editor. Here, please choose the status suitable for you. You may select for approval if the record is finished editing and prepared to be sent and approved by your department. If not, please choose entry in progress for later modification and updates before sending out for departmental approval. Then, you can click Save the record. In addition, please remind that you can't modify the record after a whole validation process is done. If you wish to modify, kindly contact us via our email whenever they need to be updated. So, we just show you the basic operation of how to import a research output from an external database. If you find that your work can't be imported from these databases, unfortunately, you will have to create these publication records manually. In that case, if you wish to get more guidance and help, just contact us for inquiries or any individual consultations via our email. We're happy to help you on this matter. Now, as I just mentioned about manually creating records, you can do that by clicking Create from Template button on the side menu. Each output types consists of multiple subcategories such as journal article, book chapter, conference proceeding, or conference paper, etc. Just based on your publication to select the corresponding output type and repeat the whole editing process as taught before saving the record. Then you're good to go. In these output categories, I would like to direct your attention to the publications related to conferences. Here, you can see that there are a few different options for you to choose, including conference article under journal contribution, conference proceeding, conference paper, abstract, and poster under conference contribution. As for the differences, if your article is published in a journal issue, including those special issues with contents combined by numerous conference abstracts, please choose conference article under journal contribution. If your article is published in an official conference proceeding by an organization, please choose the second one, conference proceeding here. And finally, if your publication is presented in the conference but not published in any journals or conference proceedings, please select conference paper under conference contribution. If you cannot remember these differences, you can go to the IRIMS user guide under the section, What can I add? You may refer to this table here for the details of different research output categories, including those related to conference. Just showing here. Lastly, I would also like to draw attention to the editorial work. Please remember to record your editorship under the Activity section, Editorial Work, and Reviewer for Publications, if you are a journal editor. As these editorship records maintain a high score in CDCF exercise for the UGC, kindly input them in IRIMS as part of your profile. So after all these approval and validation process is done, your research output records will be populated and publicly displayed on your profile page on HKBU Scholars. You may just reach HKBU Scholars page and type in your own name. Here, you can view your own researcher profile on HKBU Scholars. And under the section called Research Outputs, this page will show all your publication records here after the validation is done. So that is basically the demo of how to enter your own research output record. Before moving to the last section, do you have any questions for the first part? You may drop them in the chat box, raise your hand, or wait till the end of the training. If there are no questions for now, we can just proceed the training, and you can wait till later for the end of the training and ask your questions. After demonstrating the process of creating research output records, let's move on to setting up your personal profile. First, go back to the IRIMS backend and browse the Personal tab on the left-hand side corner. You should be able to see an Edit Profile button under the profile picture. Then click it. As you can see in this form, fields marked with sync icon here represent data which are synchronized from HRO systems, and they can't be modified. For example, your full name or your job title. However, you may review and edit those without the sync icon. For example, adding your portraits as your profile photo. Input your research interest and biography under the sections Curriculum and Research Description. Filling in your external positions, education and academic qualification history if available, and also to choose your SDGs as a research area reference. Then you can click Save to save the record and your profile. Apart from editing your personal profile, you can also create your CV by clicking Add Curriculum Vitae next to the profile picture. This time, we will choose Private CV as you can download it for your own use. Here, you will see a list of items that you can add, such as your personal information or the list of content from Pure, including the research outputs or activities. After picking up all items in this list, and hit Create button, you should be able to see the contents displayed. Here, you can rearrange the sequence of the form and modify the details of each section by clicking Edit button next to the header. However, note that your personal information, your employment history, and also your research outputs here can't be edited directly because they are automatically viewed if there are any new contents added in IRIMS system. Therefore, a good way to utilize this CV creating function is to export it as a Word document here. By hitting the download button below, then you can directly edit the CV in Microsoft Word for your own use. After demonstrating how to set up your personal profile and CV, we're moving on to the last part of our training today, which is adding trusted users. By assigning one, they will have the same level of access of IRIMS as you do and can access your account to add the content on your behalf, so it can save you time and also reduce your workload. It's easy to add trusted users in IRIMS. Just go back to your IRIMS account, then click your username on the top right-hand corner. You should be able to see a Trusted Users section on the side menu. Click it and then hit the Add Person button next to it. Then, search for the users that you would like to assign to, and then remember to hit Save at the bottom of the form, and the whole assigning process is done. Moreover, you are highly recommended to assign research staff or postgraduate students as your trusted users, since their accounts are already established in IRIMS. However, if you truly wish to assign other administrative or clerical staff with Band E or below as your trusted users, kindly contact us via our email and allow 14 working days for synchronizing the personal information from HR system to IRIMS. And this is pretty much what we're covering in today's tutorial. Let us have a quick recap on some key points shared today. Firstly, kindly remember to fill in the mandatory fields marked with red asterisks while inputting the research output records. Other than that, please be reminded to always include a DOI or any web links associated to your work, especially if you're manually inputting your records. It will greatly facilitate our verification process and also save you time, as you only need to fill in those basic bibliographic data while the library can cover the rest of the fields. Thirdly, please remember to link your project records with your associated publications, as is an important information required by the RGC. Apart from that, please also keep in mind to always include the article title when you reimburse APC payment through the FO system. If you wish to update or modify your records after the validation is completed, kindly reach us by email and provide the information you would like to update. And lastly, assigning trusted users can save you time and considerably reduce your workload in importing different IRIMS records. Simply go to your IRIMS account, click your username on top right-hand corner, and find the Trusted Users section to assign your users. Besides, we encourage you academics to import your research output records regularly or earlier to get a buffer time for any record modifications. For instance, input your work once it's published. It will smooth the whole verification process and become more efficient when retrieving data for other reporting exercises, for example, APR. And so, these are some major key points that I would like to share. If you would like to browse and take a detailed look at the IRIMS user guide or scholarly work user guide, here in this PowerPoint slide and the chat box have already included some useful links and pages that are related to IRIMS and that you can refer to when you encounter any difficulties. Or you may also reach us by phone or email lib-ict@hkbu.edu.hk for any inquiries related to IRIMS publication backend, or to get individual consultations. We're happy to help. Before we stop here, kindly give us some feedback about the workshop by scanning the QR code here, or by referring to the link in the chat box so that we can improve our workshop next time. At the same time, do you have any questions about this tutorial? You may raise your hand or drop your questions in the chat box.
So basically, our workshop today is almost finished. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us. You can open your mic to ask your questions.
Hi, can I ask a question?
Yes, sure.
Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Lam from Department of Maths. So I know in maths there are some research centers. So my question is, because sometimes my research is not with the people in the research center, is from my other colleague overseas, and then we have this paper. So my question is, when I input these kind of papers into the IRIMS, do I have to always pick the math CDC, DCC or CDC, or do I pick no CDC, not for CDCF submission?
Yeah, I would say it's preferred to select a DCC instead of selecting no, so that your paper can be counted under CDCF. So if even though it's co-authored with other institutions, or if you belong to a research center, you can still select math that DCC, so that it's counted under math categories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So another faculty asked a follow-up question. Is there any restriction on applying for APC? Budget in a grant to be able to apply for this. So I understand that for all UGC grant projects, they have set up a certain amount, there are a sub-account of APC that you can use that to pay your APC payments. But of course, it really depends on how you decide to use your money. So we would suggest you to make use of the UGC grant money to apply for APC if you still have money in it. On the other hand, you can also check out the transformative agreements that the library has signed with different publishers. If you are able to enjoy that provisions, then you can also make your paper OA without paying any additional charges. Okay, thank you. That's understood. So I hope I have answered your question. So please remember, if you paid APC yourselves, and when you do reimbursement through the FO system, please remember to input your article title so that it will be easier for us to match the corresponding data and submit it to UGC. Thank you. So do you still have any questions for us? If no, I will hope that our workshop could help you. So if you still have any questions, you are very welcome to contact us behind the scene or email us. Yes, the workshop will be recorded and we will put up on our YouTube channel and we'll send it to all the participants. Thank you. So before leaving, please help us to fill in the feedback survey and we see you again very soon. Bye-bye.